They called it heaven versus hell, white light against the shadows. But they didn't see the weight in my eyes, the cross I carried on my back long before the lights came on. I walked that ramp like it was my last confession, bathed in gold, a man of God stepping into the devil's yard, and I believed maybe I could win. Maybe grace was enough to break a curse that never cracked. Across the ring stood the storm, the reaper draped in darkness, unmoved, unreadable. But I'd danced with him before, felt his hand press close to my soul, and walked away, breathing. But tonight was different. The bell rang like a funeral chime, and I swear time itself held its breath. We were prophets of pain, writing scripture in steel and sweat, each blow a gospel, each slam a psalm of suffering. And somewhere between the ropes and the roar of the crowd, I lost pieces of myself. They say I kicked out of hell, but the truth is, hell never blinked. He just kept coming. I soared from the top like a prayer, arms wide, asking for a miracle, and fell into the arms of fate. He didn't pin me. He buried me. 1, 2, 3. And when the bell cried its final note, I didn't feel pain, just silence. Like the kind after church is over and everyone's gone home, but the echoes stay. I didn't just lose the match. I lost me. The showstopper, the headliner, the heartbreak kid. Left all of it in that ring beneath the hands of a streak that would not break because I did. And when I looked up at the lights, they didn't shine for me. They flickered like dying stars, like heaven was watching but not saving. Maybe that's how it's meant to be. Maybe some legends fall so others can rise. But I walked out of that ring half a ghost, half a man, wondering if it was all worth it, wondering if heaven heard me when I screamed into hell.
I never wanted it to come to this, but you kept pushing, kept knocking on that grave I told you not to dig. Obsession is a dangerous thing, Sean. You of all men should know. It blinds, it burns, it buries. WrestleMania 25 should have been the end. You fell. The heavens wept. And I walked away with the streak still written in stone. But you couldn't leave it there. You carved vengeance into your own skin. Cost me gold I bled for. Looked me dead in the eye and dared the Reaper to finish what we started. You said if it couldn't be you at WrestleMania, then you had no career. So I gave you what you wanted. Streak versus career. Glory versus finality. God's man versus death's shadow. The bell rang and I saw it in your face. Peace, madness, desperation. You'd already made your choice. You fought like a man with nothing left. Like every punch was goodbye. Like the ring was a church and you were praying with pain. But I hit harder. I dropped you again and again. You rose again and again. Until the end. That moment. When your body refused to quit, but your soul knew better. You stood up one last time, staring me down, slapped me across the face, and told me with your eyes, "Do it." And I did. I drove you into the mat, not with hatred, not with triumph, but with sorrow in my bones. 3 seconds later, the career of Shawn Michaels was over, and all I saw was peace. I reached down, offered my hand to the man who made the devil bleed. You took it, with grace, with fire still flickering in your heart. The crowd roared, but I only heard silence. Because I didn't win, Sean. I never wanted to. You lost your career, but you found your peace. And I kept the streak, but walked away feeling more like a man than a myth. And maybe that was your gift to me. The one thing you could take with you from the ashes.
They said, don't chase ghosts. But I wasn't chasing a ghost. I was chasing vengeance. For a man who once danced beneath the lights of God and hell, and lost everything trying to beat the one thing none of us could ever kill. You took Sean's soul, and I watched it happen. I held him, the night his music stopped playing. And somewhere inside me I swore, I whispered it like a curse. I'll finish what he started. 18 and 0. And I was going to be that one. I told myself this wasn't for ego, this was for legacy. For him, for me, for the death of death. The bell rang, and we went to war. Steel met bone, flesh met flame. It was brutal, ugly, a match with no grace, just two dying legends trying to outlast the other. But then I saw it. This wasn't the same phenom. His punches were slower, his eyes tired. Every time he struck me, it hurt him just as much. He was aging in front of me. But even as I battered him chair after chair after chair, he wouldn't stay down. I should have ended it. But I wanted him to feel what Sean felt. I wanted him to break. Instead, I broke. One slip. That's all it took. And he wrapped me in Hell's Gate. I fought. God, I fought. But it just kept tightening, like the weight of every mistake I ever made was pressing down on my throat. And right before I faded, I saw Sean, smiling, crying. That same look he gave me when I hugged him goodbye. Then, black. When I came to, they told me the truth. 19 and 0. But he couldn't even stand. He tried. God, he tried. But he collapsed. He spent every last drop of whatever dark miracle he had left just to beat me. And in that silence, with the crowd roaring around a fallen god, I realized something. I didn't lose to the streak. I lost to the man who gave everything to keep it alive. I had brought a hammer to kill a myth, but myths don't die easy. And the man who walked out that night wasn't me. I won the battle, but I lost the war. And maybe, just maybe, so did he.
I watched it again. And again. That match. That war. Each time I hit play, I think maybe I'll see something different. Some flicker of the old fire. The unkillable force I once was. But no. I just see a man who could barely stand beneath the weight of his own myth. It wasn't supposed to go like that. I was the phenom. The one who walked through fire and buried legends in the dust. But that night, I didn't walk out. I was carried. And that's all they remember, not the streak, not 19 and 0, not the hell I dragged us both through. Just the broken shell of a dead man being carted away, silent, spent. They say time is the only thing that can't be beaten. And for once, they might be right. But I won't admit it. Not out loud. I've spent my whole life being more than flesh, more than man. A symbol, a curse, a myth wrapped in black. But in that ring, Triple H hit me with everything. Steel, fists rayed, and doubt. And every blow took more than it used to. My lungs betrayed me, my knees whispered secrets of age, and my hands trembled, not with fear, but fatigue. Still I fought. Because I had to. Because legends don't quit. Because the streak meant more than breath. Funny, isn't it, how poetic this all becomes? Sean chased the streak like it was salvation. Hunter chased it like it was justice. And now me? I chase it to remember who I am. To redeem myself from that one night where I looked more man than myth. 3 obsessions, 3 legacies, 3 broken men tied together by the toll of one bell. Now, here I sit, scissors in hand, cutting away strands of hair like memories I no longer need. Before me, a vision carved in silence. Hunter on a throne, his face carved from war, and beneath him, etched in stone, for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for all of us eventually. The end is near. The curtain draws, not just for me, but for the era we bled to build. But if I must fall, let it be not in shadow, not in silence, but beneath the roar of fire and the weight of legacy. One last ride, one last war, one last bell to toll.
They gave me stripes again, not boots, not tights, but the black and white that made me the judge in a trial of gods. 2 men, 1 cell, and me. The ghost caught in between. My best friend, the one who stood with me in the trenches, wanted vengeance. He never said it, but I saw it in his eyes. He wanted his streak, not to wear, but to break for me. And the other, the one who ended me, he was more than myth to me. He was my mirror, my foil, the final nail in my chapter. I thought I'd made peace with it. I really did. But when the lights went down and I walked that ramp, the crowd chanted my name like I never left. And suddenly, I hadn't. WrestleMania 25 still lived in my bones, in my guilt, in my spine. Then I saw him, the Undertaker. Hair gone, eyes just as hollow, but something different. I knew it then. This wasn't the same Reaper. This was the last breath of an era. The bell tolled, and the cell became a chapel. Pain its psalms, steel its scripture. They fought. God, they fought like titans. Each blow shook something loose in me. Every chair shot a sermon preached in blood and stubbornness. And I held it in my hands. The match, the moment, the streak. I was supposed to be neutral, but you can't referee history without feeling its weight. Triple H looked at me, begged me to stop it. Undertaker was crawling, barely a myth anymore, just a man. I wanted to stop it, but legends don't end with mercy. Then, Hell's Gate wrapped around me. The breath was stolen from my lungs by the same hands that stole my career, and I remembered how it felt to lose. When I came to, I looked up and saw myself. WrestleMania 25. That same look, that same ache, the mirror again. So I snapped. Super kick, pedigree, counted 1, 2, flashes. Me lying on my back. Hunter lying next to me. The streak, untouched, unstoppable. And now, I saw 3. Until he kicked out. I crumbled in the corner, face buried in my hands. I couldn't do it. I didn't belong in that ring. This was too heavy. And then, he rose. Undertaker, the dead man. Whatever was left in him ignited like dying stars fighting their last collapse. He destroyed Hunter until all that was left was defiance and dust. 1 tombstone. And I knew. It was done. I dropped to my knees, not in reverence, but in relief. I counted, slowly, 3, 20 to 0. He looked at me, and I saw him. Not the phenom, not the legend, just him. The same man who took my career, now helping me lift up the one who fought for my name. We carried him, shoulder to shoulder. 3 broken men who gave everything to a story that had to end. And the crowd, God, that crowd, they rose like a prayer, like a hymn for a lost generation. Tears, cheers, closure. We turned and faced them, together, because there was nothing left to prove, nothing left to fight for. The era was over, but the memory would never die.